Hello, fellow wargamers. Welcome to MJ Hobby Corner. I'm Martin, and I'm here to give you a little update on this sci-fi project that I have going on. And this is a continuation of my modular walls. For those of you guys that have followed my channel for a while, you know that I made these modular sci-fi walls out of all kinds of recycled stuff. And then many of these walls actually have opening doors. Let's check those out. Okay, so here's one. One door slides open and close. Okay, and then here's another one right there, which I have half open. Okay, and that closes. So these doors open and close. They slide open and close. And I have several of the walls have those kinds of doors. Some of them have open doorways, right? It was just a cool thing to be able to do with my sci-fi walls. But now I want some platforms. I need platforms that will then allow my models to go up and fight up above, maybe even shoot from high ground, right? So I began work on some of these modular platforms. And I mean, they have to be totally modular, completely modular, right? And you can see all the structural detail there. And I make this with cans, soda cans. I have, for example, these are clothespins. Here's something that I'm going to show you guys how I actually make these. These are the valves, right? Some giant valve here. I'm going to have a little service platform come up with a little tiny stairwell, right? Little tiny ladder or something. And this way it'll give more validity to that thing. Because that's one big valve, right? There you go. A lot of people might say, well, Martin, you got to think of the little people, you know, whenever you make this stuff. But I think it looks good. I just have to add a little bit of detail here just to give the impression that, well, this is some kind of service valve, right? And why do you want to have this kind of thing and why do you want to have these kinds of hydraulics? I have no idea. It's sci-fi, you know, it works for me. It's great. And it's inspired. All this stuff is inspired on the movie Aliens. You guys remember the complex where the aliens were hiding all across these really like complex walls with all these pipes and all this stuff. And the aliens were just hiding in there. That's kind of what inspired me to do all this stuff. So anyway, back to the subject. But let's look at some of these platforms now. And I have a ladder here. That's not going to be the original ladder, but I'm sort of brainstorming how the ladders and the different ramps and things that are going to connect these platforms so that there is an elevated area of play. So let me show you one of these platforms and some of the details that I'm doing. Once I add all of these crazy details, like here you have like the part of a spoon, the clothespin, another part of a spoon, all these details. Once I add those, then I go back and I start adding some of the finer details. This is like an old fan, and I made this with a bottle cap, but I wanted to camouflage like the bottle cap. And so I added a fan to it. It took about 4 different parts to make. And then I have a little bit of like an electronics piece that becomes part of the fan. And then I made a cap for the fan. Okay, so that'll go like that. So I haven't glued it yet because I want to paint the fan a different color. So when I put the cap on it, you'll see the fan inside, right? And I think that's a cool little detail. I mean, these places will have to have some kind of ventilation, right? So this is a medicine cap, and then I add a vinyl piece, and I have to glue this on still, but a vinyl piece of mesh, and that's what's gonna make the mesh for the fan, okay? And then I add these little electronics piece. Well, here's the thing. Today, I actually found this old VCR, okay, that is old, it's not working, it was in the garbage, And that is like Christmas to me. Seriously, guys, that is like, man, I'm so excited. Why? Because I take that stuff apart and look at all the bits that I have for building things. Now, these things I'm going to save for maybe a steampunk kind of factory, right? All these gears and things, they're just perfect for some kind of steampunk facility where you have all the gears. I'm saving some of the electronic pieces, maybe to add later on. I cut these with a wire cutter and then add them. You see some of them here actually. For example, there's one electronic piece. In fact, let me see if I can show. There you go. Here you can see more of the pieces that I salvaged from that VCR. And so I add all of this structural detail to the pieces, you know, to give them some interest. There you go. You see a lot of the electronic pieces there. And it kind of hides some of the plastic bottle caps and things that I use, you know. So now that is the stage that I'm in. Is so I begin to add some of these pieces that I found in the VCR to add detail, to strengthen the platforms, and also to hide some of the, you know, pieces that might be more noticeable, right? Like some of these clothespins, I add a little bit of detail there to kind of hide their shape a little bit. And here are the little people that we are building this for. Okay, you guys recognize Aurora from 5 Parsecs from Home. And this complex is going to be for a variety of sci-fi games, including Stargrave. So I need a few more platforms. I want to have a couple of higher platforms, and then I have to connect them all. So this project's still in its early stages. So how do I make a hydraulic valve piece? Well, I use these wooden beads that you use to make necklaces, and I'm going to show you in just a minute just how I make this piece that then gets painted, and when you paint it right, it looks like some kind of valve, right, that separates the pipe. Basically, I take one of those wooden balls and then I stick a dowel in it, right, and there's hot glue on the dowel, and I use hot glue because it's just great stuff. I love hot glue. And then what I do is I twist the ball around, and this gives a nice like torque to the glue. And then I take one of my straws and that becomes one end of the pipe. Now, in order to get the piece in here, I drill a hole into the sphere and then poke another like a barbecue steak. I just cut it, and then everything gets glued together, and I snip off the tip, right, the excess tip. Now this thing here, the actual valve, is a little cap piece that Julie has been collecting for me. She's great, isn't she? Yeah, she's great. So in this plastic piece is soft enough that I can cut it with my X-Acto knife and turn it into a valve. And then I just put that in, glue everything together, right? Glue everything together and then snip off the excess. And I have a valve junction. And then I could put another piece of pipe there, and there you go, right? Or just leave it like that, have a very thin pipe coming out, whatever the case is. And that's what you saw in this platform right here. Okay, so that's how I made that piece. And now I'm going to add some kind of service platform here and a little ladder or some, just to give it a little more validity, right? So now what does that do for the platform? Who knows? I'll see what else I can use. But it really does enhance the terrain piece. You can see one of the electronic bits right here. Right here, and it gives it so much like detail and surface area, you know. I just love the way it works. And this is part of the VCR too. This is actually one of the aluminum bits, and I just glued it there and put the fan on it to kind of camouflage the cap, the fact that I used the cap. And one of our subscribers brought that point up. He asked, you know, what are you going to do about the pipe? And this is one of the pipes, because this would be cool to have like elevated pipes kind of working through as well. And they all have to be modular, so I have to be able to take these out. So I used the neck caps of soda bottles, right? Okay. And I actually have several ways of camouflaging this. So he brought up a good point, because he said, well, you know, they still look like the, you know, necks of soda bottles. So how are you going to hide that? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do that. But that's going to be another video. I'm not going to do that now. We will talk about that in another video when I'm ready to do that. Right now, the priority is to get these platforms done and add the stairwells and the ladders, the ramps, whatever it is, to connect them together to form a second level for my complex. That is the priority. And there we could still see the stalactites hanging off the ceiling. Would be kind of cool to have some rock here and make like a sci-fi complex inside a cave. That would be really cool. So, all right, let's go see what Julie's doing. Julie, all right, well, she has been busy here.
Very busy today. Very, very busy.
Look at all the work that I've given her.
Yes, see my workspace here? He has everything stacked up, and there's actually something even larger waiting over there because it won't fit here. So, he has me chained to the workstation. Ha, just kidding. But I am working very hard on these projects.
And I appreciate it. And she has her wine glass
I do
here.
have my wine. I'm ready for a glass of soda or whatever you want. But I'm just having fun here.
So she's having fun with all these projects. That's great. We have some fences that I made. We're going to be painting those. She's going to be painting those.
The arches.
The very simple arches. These were done with the meat packing trays. She's going to be adding stuff to that.
And right now I'm dry brushing the rocks.
Stalagmites?
Yeah, the stalagmites.
Well,
yeah.
Cave rocks.
They are beginning to look, because of this, and of course it's your idea because I'm a beginner and you have to show me, but the putting the little bit of brown really does.
It gives them a little edge.
It really does make it look a little bit more realistic.
Right, yeah, adding a little bit of brown, and a little bit of other colors.
Yeah.
And these are what we use in our cave terrain. This is that soft, squishy foam, right, that you find in pillows and things like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun to work with, actually.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure at first what it would be like because it's different, but I'm enjoying it.
And these are Julie's walls. She finished dry brushing. Very good job, Julie.
Walls that I made.
Very good job. And those are ready for some green stuff. I mean, not green stuff. I'm so sorry. Some flock.
Some flock.
Flocking powder.
Flock, yeah.
And then maybe some skulls along the base.
Skulls are good. Skulls are always good. Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Absolutely.
And there you go.
Now, these are all the things that I have to finish for the studio, okay? But still in my head, I want to make a terrain project. I have it in my head what I want to make. So even though I'm going to do I will do what you want me to do, boss.
Okay.
However, I would like to make my own, even if I do it extra, like do this.
Absolutely.
I want to make a cherry blossom tree, guys. I'm sorry. I am a girl and I want a cherry blossom tree. I'm going to make one and it's going to be pretty. I'm
sure we can use cherry blossom trees in our elvish gardens, and my orcs can come along and burn everything up. How's that?
Ernie will
Ernie
protect.
Ernie will protect. Ernie will protect.
Blossom tree.
So instead of the emperor protects, it's Ernie protects.
That's right.
All right. Well, that's enough folks, I wanted to give this little update, show you what Julie and I are doing in the studio. And I'm going to be, for today, I think it's enough work on the platforms. I will be finishing this project very soon. And I hope to, I have to paint this, of course. This is only the base coat. I have a lot of weathering and painting to do. So these things are not finished yet, but they will be. And then we'll have some cool sci-fi terrain. Thank you very much, folks, and thank you for supporting the channel. Hit like or subscribe, and come on board and join the shenanigans.